All right, so make this make sense. We have police running the streets here, serving to protect, right? There's peace officers, allegedly. But they're enforcing corporate bylaws to protect the citizens from people doing things that they have set in place, that Congress or whatnot has set in place as these bylaws, per se, like traffic tickets, parking violations, all these other instances, okay? And these officers only go to school in training, not school, training, for 6 months. This includes DUI, field testing, all these other little tests and stuff. It's minimal class time. Okay? And then they get to put a uniform on and come out and bully us people. Now listen to this. The lawyers and judges in the courts go to school for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years in order for them to get accredited for being in their positions. To fight for us, or for the lawyers now, mind you, to fight for us against prosecution, which the prosecution would be on the officer's side, and their schooling is like what? Again, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. How does that make sense? How can a cop enforce a law that he doesn't know anything about whatsoever? He doesn't understand the statutes. He doesn't understand. All he knows is he knows which ones are hot tickets. He knows which ones that, he can get out there and do a bunch of them so they can please their donors. But how is he supposed to be more credible against the citizen, against their rights, or knowing their rights, than... Are you understanding where I'm going with this? Like, it doesn't make a damn bit of sense to me how these cops out there can come out here and ruin our fucking lives, excuse my language, serving tickets and stuff like that, going to court and testifying in front of the court as if they know anything, when they only went to school for 6 months, and you can damn well believe how the greater majority of them don't know anything about our constitutional rights, which is what they were sworn under oath to serve and protect to get the position that they have in policing. And then they're covered by this thing called immunity, some sort of immunity. And people wonder why the heck I am trying to rebel against the system I know for a damn fact every time I've gotten stopped that somehow, some way, it was based on my appearance or something. I'm not even sure. Because... And then it doesn't matter how I've gone to city council meetings. I've spoke up about it. I've gone to court. I've actually even acted as my own defense counsel and cross-examined, police on the stands and found that they were lying, and then had judges literally still find it in the state's favor, which is supposed to make the police officer's whole entire testimony invalid, not admissible, because they're not allowed to perjury. They're not allowed to do it. That's why you put your hands up and swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. And the system still finds it in the state's favor because they're biased. They work hand in hand with each other, and when you get a public pretender, it's even worse, because these son of guns work hand in hand with these same judges frequently. So they've already established a love-hate relationship, and they're okay with pissing each other off, or not for that matter, because they know what the repercussions are. But do you see what I'm saying? And then, so the judge has the final say, and the prosecution obviously is on the state side. And here's the thing too: the police are not allowed to be victims, unless obviously, they're actually physically harmed or whatever, or threatened. But what I'm saying is, like, when there's not a witness or a injured party, for say, like, okay, speeding, for example. When you get stopped by the cops for speeding, okay, there are no victims. They're trying to say, basically, because you're speeding, you can create a victim if you have an accident. So that's a corporate bylaw. And so, because it's a corporate bylaw, and they've gotten away with this for so long, you'll have to go to court or pay the ticket. And most people don't want to hassle with the courts because they just already know, they're intimidated by it, which they should be, I guess. But me, when you're broke, when you're poor, you don't give a shit about that. Like, take it to court. Come on, I can't afford the payments, or the fine. Long story short, but so it's all brainwash. And then recently, Chevron. I don't know if you guys heard of this. Chevron was overturned by the Supreme Court. Chevron is the corporate bylaws, the one for maritime law, law of the sea. which is where they've been practicing. They've been doing basically just it became a business. It was nothing about serving, protecting anymore. It was about money, and officers were getting kickbacks. They were getting brownie points. They were getting promotions and whatnot, depending on the numbers that they turned in at the end of the month, a quota, and if they was, and that's how they also got promoted upward in the chain of command and as officers. So, I mean, you could best believe that 8 out of 10 officers that are doing policing, they don't know anything about the Constitution. Absolutely nothing. Not even the first one, which is the right to free speech. And in my experience, every time I've gotten stopped by the police, if I try to exercise my constitutional rights, they escalate the situation. They don't like people recording it, which is you have a constitutional right to record it with your phone. They don't like people that know something about the law because it challenges their authority, and they don't like that at all. They get really redheaded about it. And no offense to redheads. They just get really hot-headed. And they escalate the whole entire matter. I mean, you could be stopped for the stupidest thing, like the license plate, for example, And if you start exercising your constitutional rights, they're going to escalate it to the point where somehow, some way, you're going to leave the scene pissed as hell because you just got screwed the hell over. And you can't do nothing about it because they're big, bad, carry guns and a badge, and they have immunity. We don't. So don't you think that maybe the police should be the ones leading by example, and they're supposed to be peace officers? And every time I've had an interaction with a police officer, it ain't never been anything peaceful about it. It's always been a disturbance of my peace. And then they wonder why I do rebel from the system because I don't trust them. I don't appreciate them. They ain't been nothing satisfactory for me. And, I'm not a criminal. Otherwise, I'd already be in the penitentiary, and they can assure you they want me to be in the penitentiary. It's beneficial for them because every time a person goes to prison, there is a large sum of money that gets given to the state, and then per month, just like a welfare recipient, gets allotted to that prison. And they give you the garb that they don't even feed you well. So all of that money goes through some slop that they slap on a fucking plate. They give you 3 hots and a cot. It's free room and board. It's not free room and board. The state pays for it out of the income that's in the treasury that was ours anyways. When we're born, they basically put a bond in our name, an insurance bond, and they put it in the treasury for our original portion of the birth certificate, okay? Then we get a certified copy that they charge us for. Why would they just not take their copy and give us the original? The original has our blood type on it, our footprints. It's got all the, the weight, what the doctor's name, this, that, is, and the other. If you look at your certified copy, it's limited information, and it's a certified copy. Why has it got to be certified? Because it's a check stub, basically. It's basically a copy of the original. It's not even. It doesn't even look like the original. What am I saying? But it's a certificate to show that there's an original one on file, and when you die, there's an insurance policy that you never know about. It's part of the straw man theory. And so when you die, that money, the insurance pays off your debt to society, and whatever's left over is theirs. They profit off of our life and our death, and we're all being used as like guinea pigs in the medical field. Medicine is not your friend. It's turned into again, one of the corporate beneficials that they're testing on us. They're testing to see which ones are going to work and which one's going to make somebody live forever, so that they know for the elites what to prescribe. We're the test guppies for the elites. Come on, guys. I mean, if you can't figure this out already, we're being lied to. We're being treated like crap, and this is the Matrix, and it doesn't have to actually be a machine. Or maybe it is. I don't know. And this is not my conspiracy theory. This is something I've lived through. I've gone through all of these things. I'm telling you, like, these people have no good intent for us unless you're a law-abiding puppet. Somebody they can pull the strings, and if they say jump, you got to say, how high, Mr. Sir? Do I love you forever? You know what I mean? Like, you got to just fucking kiss their asses until they fucking tell you they're satisfied. I'm not kissing anybody's ass anymore. It tastes like shit. Fuck them.